Several years ago, I had a procedure on my pancreas called an ERCP. This procedure involves having a scope go down the throat, through the stomach, and into the small intestine. A special attachment on the scope is inserted into the pancreas and bile ducts. I have chronic pancreatitis, and anytime I have an ERCP, my pancreas revolts. As soon as I wake up from the procedure, my pancreas feels as though it is on fire. Thankfully, the nurse tending to me could see I was in severe pain. She called the doctor. I was given 50 of fentanyl every 15 minutes. Finally, the pain subsided. Due to the severity of the pain, my GI doctor thought it was best for me to be admitted to the hospital. I was given one last dose of fentanyl before leaving day surgery. Then I was taken up to the hospital floor. The time it took to travel through the hospital was nearly 15 minutes. When I arrived at my hospital room, the pain was starting to roar back to life. My care was handed off to a floor nurse. I told my new nurse I was in pain and needed some medicine for it. She ignored my request. Very soon, the pain medicine completely wore off. I begged my nurse for pain medicine. She said there was nothing on my chart which stated I could have pain medicine. I told her to contact the doctor and ask him for something. She refused to do this. I was told the doctors would come in the morning and round. Hour after hour, the pain from my pancreas violently shook my body. I kept the cuff on my tracheostomy tube inflated. When the cuff on my tracheostomy tube is inflated, I cannot speak. The cuff on my tracheostomy tube creates a sealed circuit and prevents air from traveling up my airway and through my vocal cords. With the cuff inflated, my yells and screams for help were not heard. When my nurse walked into my room, I had to deflate my cuff so I could talk. Now, my involuntary screams became audible. I kept begging and begging my nurse all night long for pain medicine. She refused to do anything. Since I have a tracheostomy and use a ventilator, this hospital has a policy that a caregiver must be with me at all times. This means a hospital-employed caregiver sits in my room during my entire hospitalization. Although I had a caregiver by my side, she was not allowed to interfere with my care. The caregiver's only obligation was to call the nurse if my ventilator started alarming. To distract myself, I tried to read the Bible, but since I was shaking severely from the pain, I could not keep my eyes focused. I finally put on my headphones and started listening to the Bible. My caregiver asked me what I was listening to. I told her it was the Bible. She was shocked by my words. The long night continued on. A little after 6 a.m., my caregiver told me she was leaving. A new person was taking over. She could see my tear-streaked face and messy hair in the early morning light. After 12 long hours of non-stop pain, my raging pancreas was finally quieting down. She told me how impressed she was. Although I was in excruciating pain, I never once cursed the nurse. She had never seen anything quite like that. She said the situation inspired her. Any pain she may have would not be as much pain as what I had endured. She told me to keep reading the Bible. I watched the woman leave and was left dumbfounded by her words. I never imagined my actions in the midst of a pancreatitis attack would be a means to bring inspiration to another person. I was awestruck. God was using this hospitalization and my inability to get pain medicine to show the world that through suffering, we can still be a light to those around us. After the doctors rounded, I was sent home in the morning. The only pain medicine I ever received was in day surgery. I wondered why I had wasted a long, torturous night being admitted to the hospital. I then remembered my kind caregiver. I sighed and thought, if God was able to use my suffering to make this world a better place, I am grateful. How many people have that honor? As hard as it is to get through the pain, the real reward is knowing God can use all situations for His glory. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe down below. I hope you have a great day and a wonderful week. Bye-bye.